Hey everybody, I'm APH. Welcome to a much requested game on the channel, Surviving Mars. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game today. Now, with the most recent patch, Below and Beyond, it adds a lot of new content and a lot of new flavor. And part of what I'm looking for with this is something a little bit more difficult. So we're not going to take one of the easier missions, sponsors. We're going to go ahead and go with Russia. Now, because of how well it jives with Russia, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Futurist, which makes autonomous sensors. Well, you know what? Thinking twice about that, we can go with the Astrogeologist, which actually allows us to do deep mining right away. And we'll try to focus on the actual tech to get the autonomous sensors. I believe it's in physics. So let's go ahead and do Astrogeologist. Disclaimer, it's been about 6 months since I played, and I didn't actually play a hard run then, so this could be pretty interesting. We'll stay with a random mystery as well as the standard 3 rivals. With game rules, we'll do active plate tremors, as well as starting from the bottom up, winners coming, twisters, the last arc, rebel yell, long ride, inflation, hunger, dust in the wind, Armageddon, and amateurs. I like playing with tech variant, no, with chaos theory, but I'm thinking in case we do get an early winner, we don't want this. So this might be like a coming back. I've had where the last tech that I've got is the surface heaters, and if we get a cold spell early on, we're going to need those heaters. Alright, now for prefabs. Nice thing about Russia is we do start with an extra rocket, and the RC driller actually allows you to drill surface minerals at 50% waste. It can be pretty good. We don't need very many machine parts getting started. We'll want a couple extra orbital probes because we want to go for a few specific things. Let's get rid of polymers. Let's skip the driller first so we can get an explorer. And this looks pretty okay. We'll grab an extra Stirling generator just in case. Alright, next. So, looking through for spaces that would be good. I found a spot, I believe it was 38 south, 150 west. Comes up with 1,035. It's steep, which is okay. Low on metals, okay on concrete, good on water. So let's get started. Now, disclaimer, the early game might be a little bit slow when we're trying to actually get established. I'll try to get down to Mars with survivors in the first, I don't know, 10 days or so, but there's no guarantees. I kind of want to get to where we get all the breakthroughs. All right, starting out, let's go ahead and close some of this stuff and open up our technologies. We immediately want to go for surface heaters. I think that's a must. I think following that, we're going to go ahead and go for robotics. And we'll definitely want farm. That will be our first 3 that we go for. Low G shaft tunneling must be the new tech. Terraforming. We'll see what we can do to get green earth. We might have to actually, you know, if we'll have to get enough people down here and get enough productivity to make that worthwhile, because going this route can be a 300-400 day period, and hey, if that's what you guys want to see, that's what we'll do. We can deep scan, so we can actually queue these up right away. And we brought some probes. So the first thing we're looking for is we want water just for the, I believe it's a milestone. Scan an anomaly, launch a rocket on Mars, find water, construct a dome. The first human, we might be a race to get that. First Martian born, produce food, research a breakthrough, which we're going to want to do. And the rest of these will once we get past this point, these should just be kind of a given that we're going to get them. But we're going to try to rush these as much as we can for all the extra technology. Let's go ahead and... That spot says it has water. This spot says it has water. I always look for craters. Craters always seem to be good spots. And this is close to where I'm actually starting. So let's go ahead and ping that, which gives us water, gives us our first breakthrough. We do have surface metals here, as well as we have an actual concrete. Let's go ahead and scan. Since we already scanned this one, let's get this one. Nothing really useful. Surface polymers. Metals, concrete, metals, water, and concrete. Let's roll the dice there. Absolutely nothing, and let's roll the dice there. So we get a vista, and we get an anomaly. Okay. Oh, we have one more probe. Let's scan that one. Also found an anomaly. So we did bring a moisture vaporator, a fuel refinery, and the Stirling generator, so we won't have to go for the water right away, which is something that I've actually seen, is where you try to actually find water and go for that instead of bringing stuff with you. I want to get close enough to get at least one of those. So go ahead and drop it there. Let's look at our mission profile. Discover 8 underground deposits. That should be easy enough. Produce 50 concrete in a single soul, which gives us 4 apartments. Might take a little bit. Extract 200 metal from the underground deposits. Well, that will be easy once we find an underground metal deposit. Have 3 extractors working at 160% and deep scan half the sectors. Easy peasy, easy peasy. All right. All right. I don't know what to rename it yet. We'll come back to that. Let's go ahead and speed it up just a little bit and zoom in, because watching everything roll off the line there, it's always kind of cool. Granted, I'm only bringing one thing with me. All right. This one helps with current research. Let's go ahead and plop that down. This is further analysis is needed. This will probably be just random stuff. And what is this? Discover new technologies. Yeah, so we'll kind of go in this route. We'll queue this up, and lastly, we'll get this one. All right, now we need our moisture vaporators. Let's go ahead and plop that there, get a pipe off of it so we can get our fuel refinery going. And then with our first of our Stirling generators, let's go ahead and place that there. That will at least get this up and going and make it self-sufficient. Since we have concrete here, we could go for an actual concrete extractor, or we could go for a concrete plant because we have the fuel. Let's go ahead and go for the concrete plant. We'll kind of put it over here outside the dust range. We'll put our next Stirling generator, and we'll, at some point in time, we will connect this to a drone hub. But for right now, as long as we have a rocket, let's go ahead and get 2 sensor towers kind of up against here. Our first analysis, and it looks like we got some research.
Until today, the only place we'd thought you could find Ice-15 outside of a lab was on an icy planet or a moon.
Gained Ice-15, gained 500 million. We'll take that. As well as we gained 1,500 research, and we got the scanning and anomaly, which is amazing. The drone swarm is finished. So let's go ahead and go for optimization next, and go ahead and go for adaptive probes, because somewhere in the first 5 will be the ability to make our sensors autonomous, and we'll want that pretty quick. So, talking about autonomous, we want a supply pod with a driller, since we have those surface minerals right here. The next thing we want is, Russia starts with 2 rockets. Let's go ahead and get our next rocket, and we're going to bring another moisture vaporator, another fuel refinery, another Stirling generator. We don't need another drone hub. And we're going to bring a transport, a commander, and another driller. We have a little bit left. Let's go ahead and bring what we can here. Still have a little bit of money left. Hopefully this setup will actually get us enough to buy our next run of stuff. And now we kind of start the like 5 minutes for stuff to get here, as it is just forever slow on longest ride. But we will get a driller in a second here, and yeah, we're starting to do our research. Let's go ahead and queue these back up. I want to kind of, once we get our commander, we want to go up this way. All right, dark side of the sun. So, while shifting through the red dust, your drones discover the remains of an old concrete bunker. The treasures inside is a folder of old documents. So we can kind of go, thank you, our glorious leader, and reveal biotech and get 50 sponsor research per soul. Gain physics in 50, or we can say, hey, thank you, let's just get 50 research per soul. I'm thinking this is more meaningful just to get the 50 research than to reveal text. So let's go ahead and grab that. Brings us up to 350 per soul for research. And let's see what this is. Excellent.
A drilling accident turned to our advantage.
A drilling accident to our advantage. We discover a metal deposit. So that's kind of ironic and good. The good thing about that is, like, we're probably going to drill these out with the actual drillers, not using the dome, which means we can probably focus our first dome down here on the Vista. We still got to bring down a commander, but it's gonna come. We're on max speed, and what I'll probably do is still learning time lapses, but we'll probably time lapse if there's big sections of nothing, or just do a cutscene. All right, let's go ahead and drop him down and see what's there. And another, looks like some texts have been opened up. Planetary survey and decommission protocol, something that is fairly useful. Well, let's go ahead and close that out, and let's see what the anomaly is. What is this? Gain 2,000 research. You can validate all the predictive models you want to if you're going to give me 2,000 research. All right. YOLO, let's get him back. Let's see what that did for our research, because I know it finished the farm. That's amazing. It finished transport optimization. We're going to go ahead and go for Explore AI after. What's next? Let's do systematic training. Start taking these early techs. I mean, we don't need fuel conservation, because we're not going to be bringing that much back anytime soon. And decommission protocol, we're not ready to salvage anything. Looks like concrete has started. It will get going a little bit better once we actually get the next one. Let's go ahead and salvage the pod there and get him working on. We'll do metals first. Now, let's go ahead and close that out. Just kind of looking at our map, I mean, this Vista will probably be our early game go-to. It's not close to water, but the 10% service comfort level might actually allow us to produce children quicker. Let's get a concrete storage down and a dumping site. Let's start with the dumping site. And we'll get our universal depot. I was kind of waffling around and didn't think about that. Speaking of that, let's get fuel off of here so that if a meteor hits this, we won't lose it. Get a depot for our concrete. Yeah, we'll put it right there. And we'll get a depot for fuel. We'll just... I'll put it right there. We'll find some better spaces as we move things around. I want to flatten this out. I think that's under... Yeah, flatten. There we go. Another anomaly's found. Let's go ahead and bring our guy up here and take a look at what this is. I think there was another option in here. Clear. Mark a surface to be cleared of waste rocks by drones. Rocks will be turned into... Yeah, that's fine. We can actually make our own formations now, which is kind of nifty, because I know the last time I played that wasn't in here. But things like this little mound, we can actually clear it out so we can put a dome there, which is what we're going to do, is put a dome, I guess would be right about there, but we got to level up the surface first. Yeah. We'll put it that way. All right, now this is discover new technologies. We'll probably get a little bit of research with this, so hopefully something useful. Let's place our landing pad for our next rocket so we don't produce as much dust, and we'll kind of plan on something about like that, maybe. All right, looks like new techs, Logi, High Rise, and Dover. That could be interesting. And
the probe's drill had hit 100 meters before it detected a spike in temperature. The data tells us it was ignited magnesium compounds.
oh, ignited magnesium. We are still waiting for the confirmation, but the preliminary results are clear. That's good. There are signs of chemical burning, including a combustible material in contact with the probe. So, long story short, reduces the cost of robotics technology by 10%. Something that we're going to want. I want to get as self-sufficient as I can very quickly. That means we're going to have to go after some prefabs. So we're probably going to go after a small prefab of the machining factory, as well as a small electronics, which will mean not taking inflation into accommodation. We're going to need 350 million, and then possibly a polymer factory, depending on if we can find it soon enough. Just kind of planning things out ahead. Now, I think we're up to, I think this counts as a surface deposit. I think that puts us at 7 for the mission profile. We're at 6. Then we gain our free supply drops. That will make things a little bit more interesting. Looks like we've got some more areas down. Let's go ahead and zoom those, keep them going. Let's go ahead and bring our explorer back. We're just kind of waiting. We need the polymers from over here. The good thing is this has a transport on it. Once we have that, we can grab these polymers and possibly have the first dome. Adaptive probes leads to extractor amplification. We're not going to take that yet. Let's go... in case we get another big group of research from an anomaly. Let's go deconstruction after that. We'll back it with... yeah, we'll back it with extractor amplification. I really want to get one of these two techs next. Now, let's explore the map. I know there's like these little orb things that tell you kind of where the underground is. Just kind of scanning around. Hey, I think, looks like there's one. Which, if that's the case, I mean, that is a ways away from where I'm at. Oh, here's another one. I think there's 2 on the map, and that's the second one. So both of them are ways away, so we're probably going to use our actual commander when he lands to create a pathway up here. Because I think going up here is going to be pretty important, and then create a pathway going down. And then as we do get the technology so that the the sensors are actually free to maintain, we'll kind of use our transport to move all of the electronics we can around to maintain that. Another sector scanned with nothing in it. I think that was this one, which makes sense. Only 9% buildable area, so kind of working with that. Now we are up to 22 metal. We can probably switch this over. We want this ready to go when this one lands. And we'll move our concrete factory to a higher priority so that, you know, getting things like the launch pad actually finished first is a higher priority than launching our shuttle. I have a feeling that, especially some things that are repaired with mechanical parts, it's actually going to be a higher priority than, obviously, oh, there's a tremor. So that's not a Mars quake, that's an actual tremor. Hey, speaking of Mars quakes and tremors, let's take a look and see who our competitors are. So we have the colony of Europe. Looks like he's just kind of researching some oddball things, which includes fuel compression and soil adaptation. The colony of India. A lot of money. I'm a little jealous there. And Church of the New Art. They're probably not going to like us. They're probably going to try to rush. Either India or Church of the New Ark is probably going to try rushing getting colonists. I forgot to change our logo. That's a shame.
Sector scanned.
Alright, D1 just scanned and had nothing. That was this one. That's weird that this is like this is A, you'd think this would be A1, and this would be like... So this must be A all the way down. Okay. But you'd think this would be A1 and you'd work to like A9 or A... If this was A0, you'd work to A8, 9 or whatever it is, because it looks like it goes up to 9. Kind of a goofy way of doing it. Yay! Our landing pad is finally done. Alright, our rocket's finally here. Looks like we've got the metal. It looks like we're almost there for concrete. Let's get the transport grabbing all of this stuff right here. Let's go ahead and create a route. And let's get all of this and bring this over here. I think we're going to need a polymer as well as a metal depot. Let's go ahead and get rid of the concrete one and put it up here kind of with the rest of them. We'll just kind of make a little bit more of a uniform spot. So metal. Go ahead and get a rare metal one. There we go. There we go. A little bit more cleaned up. But let's take our commander there. Let's go ahead and plop the driller down. Now we need our next fuel refiner and our next O2 tank there. I could care less about the concrete factory, so let's go ahead and cover it up. Yeah, that's a good spot. And we'll just kind of plop him down. And our next refiner. Wood. Now, let's take a look. If I need the surface heater, I can probably plop that like right here. It does take a lot of machine parts up front, so I'm going to hold out until we get the notification that we're going to get a freeze. But it looks like that area, I can expand it. It only takes 1 water. If I placed it here... So you know what, I'll place it here, and I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. That way I kind of remember that this is what I want to do. Because I would be able to expand that range to cover this area if needed.
Resources are low.
Let's go ahead and take our commander up to here. And let's start getting our first ramp built. This will take kind of a minute or two. Invalid placement. Yeah, like that. Might have to kind of place them over there. We'll get a rock pile there. Yeah, it looks like it's required rocks. Okay.
Sector scanned.
Let's move him a little further out so he's got access to this. See if that actually allows him to bring the rocks over. Yeah, it makes sense. I can see why that would require additional supplies there. Let's go ahead and queue some more of these up. I think we're going to scan up here first, and then we're going to scan across. This ice scares me. It could be really rich, but at the same time, without enough power to keep those surface heaters going. And what do we have here? 100,000 water, deep water. Oh, man. Well, we're going to place a dome there. That's for sure. That or a lake. I just don't know how we're going to fit that in because that's a pretty far deep tech. I mean, that's like... So it's physics. It's probably, if I had to guess, it's probably in the here range, which is pretty deep down the list. Yeah, this is still within range. Oh, that's our explorer. Yeah, we're good. Looks like he brought in metals. He did not bring in the polymers for some reason. Yeah, let's try that again. You, get those. All of them. Bring them back here. Thank you. Yeah, we might actually need the added of the drone hub to help with this, because that's going pretty slow, but that's okay. This is weird. I'm on day 7 and I have not seen an actual day 8 now. And I have not seen Martian day consists of nearly 25 hours. I have not yet seen an actual disaster other than the tremors. 3 anomalies. Yes, please. Get this finished.
Research complete.
Explorer AI brings us up to 450 a day. Let's take a look what's next. Low G drive, drones, and rovers move 20% faster. We will take that. Let's move extractor amplification up to the top. We'll do synthetic training after that. I really want to see what's in this row. Hey, our rocket is finally ready to go. I want to wait for it to actually have the 30. Speaking of that, I am actually... Yeah, they're both going. I thought for a second I forgot to assign him over to working. I swear, I play these games, I swear. Just lose a little bit track of what I'm doing occasionally. Good, I mean, other than polymers, we're on track to get the first dome down. We found water first. We researched an anomaly first. We're about to launch a rocket, which means we potentially could be the first to get people if our longest ride isn't terrible. India has an advantage. I believe they can actually call for pods of people if they build the dome first. Really want to wait for this to be fully 30 exports before I actually do anything. Because if I launch that, that would, I think it's 660 with Russia for a trip. To give me 900. That would allow me to get another, a supply drop of drones is what that'll allow me. Then I could actually place more on that commander. So on our next trip, we're going to bring back more of the actual drones. Speaking about that, let's... I don't want to open this up. We have the polymers. All right, let's do it. Let's place the actual drone hub.
Sector scanned.
We'll place it right here so it can help with the construction. And we'll just go ahead and open this since we found those polymers. 4 anomalies. Oh, it was 3 plus the new one. This is good. All right, let's go ahead and prioritize filling him because that will redirect the drones to grab all of the actual metals and stuff and get them on board. Then I can launch that. That should be a next milestone. Yeah, launching the rocket. So we're going to get launching the rocket and constructing the dome. Hey, it's full. All right, let's go ahead and launch it.
Milestone achieved.
Get that milestone. Let's go ahead and up this so that it finishes. Looks like they're actually starting to really move here, which is good. They're at 86% of the needed, and then looks like they'll start that actually, and then I can send up my guy to start the actual exploration up there.
Meteor incoming.
Woo! And we have our first disaster. We got the milestone for the dome.
Sector scanned.
Oh, like right on the dome, man. Well, the good thing is it really didn't take very much damage, so we're okay, and it only takes concrete to repair. That's the reason I went with that dome instead of one of the other ones, as well as it's got enough actual area to sustain something. We'll go ahead and close off those overlays. Extractor amplification, which brings us to low G turbines. We'll move that up. Yeah, we'll move it to the top. I really want that tech. It looks like all the waste rock is about to be moved, and then we can actually do something. Gotta tell you, early game on harder difficulties is kind of, you know, scrolling in and out, checking the map. Ooh, new planetary anomalies. Let's go take a look. Unknown takes people, we don't have them. Drones for a breakthrough. Yes, please. Let's go ahead and send this over there. Now, we are refueling. We are like 50 on the refueling. Let's go ahead and move this to the top. Get a... I think we already put down the rare metals. Yeah, we already put down... And speaking of rare metals, let's go ahead and switch these back over. Because that's enough for 2 rockets. Or if we get an electronics to do that. We have plenty of concrete. Let's place a trade right there in hopes that we can try to trade some of that concrete for other things. Let's go ahead and close that out. Close that out. We need more, another moisture vaporator to get the dome up and going. Let's take a look and do some pipe work so I know where to build. It'll kind of give me some guidelines. We can get an oxygen tank. We'll try to sneak him like right there. And we can get a Moxie down. Good thing about the Moxie, we'll try to actually put the Moxie far enough out to make this work. Put him like right there. And now we can power him with a solar. And he produces 3 during the day. Which will mean that at night when it's not working that it's okay. Because it will fill up the tank during the day, and then during the night it will just kind of deplete. But it keeps us from using something like a Stirling generator or a wind turbine. And looking at the wind turbines, I mean, they take mechanical parts, and at least these wind turbines, oh, they made them so they spin. That's nifty. I could do that for a while. In the last patch, they were this way. They didn't spin.
Breakthrough discovered.
Ooh. There's our breakthrough. We got our goal for our free supply drops, and we found some other nifty things over here, metal and concrete. So, Zero Space Computing, Research Labs and Hawking Institution upgrade. Zero Space Computing, research points production is increased. Yes, please. We will move you to the top simply because we want to get that breakthrough the fastest. Now, I don't have enough money to actually buy research, so we're going to hold out. Maybe we can spend like 200 million on research. Yeah, let's go ahead and outsource that million. It'll get us half of that. It will double the speed which we're getting it. Well, not quite. It's 200 million a day or 200 research a day. So on top of the 450 we had, it moves it to 650. So about 3 days to research that. This rocket's ready to come back, which gets us our drones back. And let's go see if there's any other spot that we could do. Because that was people, and people. So the other 4 are kind of irrelevant until we get people. Good thing is, these don't require specialists. So this one is resources, and an unknown. That could be interesting. That could be anything from our mystery to just garbage, or we lose people, which would be the worst case scenario. This is outside the drone commander range, so we might need a drone hub next. We did get the supply drop, so we could potentially... I mean, if we ran out of something, we could definitely use our supply drop to just kind of emergency get something. Oh, and our ramp finished. Thank you. So let's grab our Explorer, wherever he went, and let's get these. Now, this one right here is a breakthrough. Go get that breakthrough, and then we'll go ahead and grab these two and this one right here. Discover new technologies, current research goal, which is good, and further analysis is needed. All right. Fickle economics require your attention. Oh, cripes. Our sponsor informs us that due to changes in the economic conditions, the import price of a key resource will soon be increasing. Oh, man. Turns out that even Mars is not beyond the reach of stock market hiccups on our mother planet. The increased price of machine parts by 100% in 5 sols. Oh, Jesus. Understood. Yeah, we're definitely going to try to rush people and get that small, machining factory. That needs to be a thing now. Oh, hey, we scanned G1. Let's see, where's G? FG. We scanned this one. It says that, oh, this one. And we already knew that there was water there, so it came up as nothing. We can probably extend this a little bit further. I want to wait until we get the free sensor towers to go even further yet. It's weird. It has a square here, but it won't let me actually, scan that sector. That's weird. Woo! Breakthrough discovered. Psionic brain allows us to construct bio-robots in the drone assembler. All right. Bio-robots eat and can gain traits, but cannot reproduce and never die or can never die from old age. If I could speak. Yeah, we're not getting you. We're not getting you. We're not getting you. We will go on low drive because we need robotics to get the drone, but we are going to move you pretty much to right beneath zero space computing. This may be a hard run, but this run, if we can get the actual psionics down, and even better yet is if we can find it where the breakthrough where drones are only produced with one metal. Oh man. Those two breakthroughs go hand in hand. Occasionally you'll get them together. So we'll take a look and we'll see.
We've just confirmed the location of a metal-rich deposit. A drilling accident turned to our advantage.
And we found a metal deposit. It might have actually been the same. Yeah, it was the same one as the breakthrough. It looks like they paired it up so that a lot of these have more flavor. It used to be when you completed them, you'd get one thing, and sometimes it would be like, oh, look, you found metal. And it's kind of like, oh, yay. But I mean, hey, I just found psionic brains, and I found a 1,000 metals underground. Granted, I'm probably going to use these guys to go get it. Speaking of that, let's take a look at our mission profile. We are currently at 198.6 of the 200 metals extracted from those guys, which is going to get us 2 billion. Not enough for another rocket, but it's going to keep us... Well, here's what's going to happen. Speaking of that, there we go.
Milestone achieved.
Analyze for 1,000 research. We got zero space computing from it. We got the breakthrough, and we got the goal. So we got 2 billion. Let's see what's in this actual...
held the silver white mineral up to the camera just as the chemical analysis came through. We found tellurium.
All right. So check this. We've got the psionic brains, which require robotic text for the actual drone hub. And we just get tellurium, which reduces the cost of robotic text by 10%. Great news. Great news. All right, let me check my actual mission profile and make sure that we are on Indeed, Last Arc, Winter is Coming, Active Plates, Armageddon, Twister, Amateurs, Dust in the Wind, Inflation, Rebel Yell, Long Ride, and Hunger. All right, I wanted to make sure that we were on this and not like a weird setting. To confirm, 1,035%. And the game is literally like raffle ponying me with like all this good stuff. Let's get another large dumping site because it looks like we're getting full. And I really think that this is a good spot to go ahead and call this episode, guys. I don't even foresee this is going to be a hard run. We're day 12. We have not had a single cold wave yet. We haven't had a dust devils. We did have a meteor storm, and we've had some minor tremors. But I mean, looking at our research, we are going to get psionic brains really quick, and then we're going to go into robotics as hard as we can to get drone hubs. And once we get drone hubs, it's going to be a cascade effect, because we're going to the first couple domes, we're going to just pour into farms to feed them, into drone hubs and electronics facilities to mass produce more. And once we can mass produce them, we're not even going to care about the fact that we brought humans here. We're just going to let them die off, because we're just going to use the psionic brains. And if we get the technology where we can make them with just base metals instead of, I think it's electronics and base metals, oh, we will just spam the whole entire Earth, and we will go ham with terraforming like nobody's business. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode of Surviving Mars, where we bring in some colonists and hopefully continue this ride of amazingness. Guys, have an amazing night, and we'll see you tomorrow.